I was living in Muncie, Indiana, which is a very small town in the Midwest. And I came to New York for this audition. Now, I had gone to school at Manhattan School of Music, so I knew New York and, had gotten the formal training, but I had gone to this small town to teach. So I come to New York, and I had bought a case that was touted to be the best cello case you could possibly have, and they said you could throw it from a 2-story window and nothing would happen to your instrument. That was the story. So I go into the green room at the New York Philharmonic to audition for Leonard Bernstein, and I put the cello against the wall, and out of the corner of my eye I see something fall, and I look back and it was my cello. And I say, oh, I have this great case. Nothing could be wrong. Take my coat off, go about my merry way. I open up the cello case, and the neck is severed from the instrument. And it was such a bizarre thing to happen that I just sort of went out of body, I think. I just sort of went, oh, this is really strange. Now what am I going to do? So I certainly told the personnel manager, and he arranged to have a cello for me. They postponed my audition for about 45 minutes so I could practice the new cello and get accustomed to it. And then I played, and it was evidently good enough to go from what we call the preliminary audition, the first audition, to go to the second round, which is the final audition. So in between, I went to a wonderful violin shop, and they loaned me a great Italian instrument by the maker Tononi. And they spent the afternoon putting on new strings, adjusting the sound posts, adjusting the bridge, and making it just absolutely suited for me. So it might have been a blessing in disguise to have this happen, because my instrument was fine, but not nearly the caliber of this one. So when I had my regular audition, or the final audition on stage, I was able to play a great instrument. Therefore, obviously, a better sound, and the whole presentation was on a different level. So, we never know when good things happen out of seemingly bad things. So that was it. And then I got in the orchestra, and Bernstein was the conductor, and he was the one that chose me. And I felt, of course, very honored, but also that I was the second woman to get in the orchestra. And the first woman cellist has always been something I have, enjoyed and cherished in my career. I have always taught, and I feel it's important that musicians teach, because there's really no other way to pass on the traditions of our art and the sort of the little tricks of the trade. You put your finger this way instead of that way, or whatever, some little nuance that you cannot possibly get unless you're studying with somebody who is already skilled in the art of playing the cello. So it's, as I said, it's very important to do this and to help the next generation come up to understand and know these things. But as a student develops, it's most important that they learn to develop their own selves and not rely on a teacher. So I sort of like to think in my overall arch of teaching that I want the student to learn to be his or her own teacher. So rather than just tell a student, you must do it this way, I would prefer to help them with the process and help them understand why we do it this way. And hopefully they will see why and actually like why it is taught this way or it is played this way, so that they will actually want to do it themselves and it becomes part of them. I really had no understanding of how beautifully this project is done. Every part of it is highly professional. The setup with the photography, all the video, the audio, every part of it is so carefully planned and carefully attended to that I'm sure that the results of the videos that will eventually go out to those who wish to view them will really be something instructive and something that they will, the audience will enjoy seeing and working with. So, and then of course the talent is just wonderful, and everyone connected with it are just great people. So I'm having a wonderful time, a wonderful experience here. It's a very important role that you have found that you're fulfilling. It's very broad, big, huge in scope. And again, something that can present to young musicians the traditions from many different points of view that they can learn from and take from. So it's quite a wonderful project and a very important one. I have not experienced learning through the medium of video, YouTube, all of those things that are available today. But I do know that my students seem to gather a lot from everything that's out on the internet, and seem to have a, they're again able to be exposed to more people, more players, the past as well as the present. So I think that the way things are being taught today can give the student a broader picture of what they're doing. But I'm really impressed with the project and think it's done on such a high level that it's going to be one of a kind.